Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to the second episode of VspireLabs. I'm Kevin and I'll be your host for the series. As you have already might have known, here at VspireLabs, we aspire to inspire your startup journey and also equip you with the necessary knowledge. Today with us, we have the seasoned startup founder, Mr. Tan Ban Yu, who is also an experienced investor. He'll be sharing with us on how to hire your first co-founders and also all the problems that come with it. So without further ado, we will now ask Mr. Tan Ban Yu to introduce himself.
Hi, my name is Barney. I'm the co-founder of Offpeak. I've actually been in business for the last 15 years running various startups, both from traditional types of business to online type of business. But I think the two names that probably will come in your mind is probably my previous business, which was carlist.my, probably now still running in the virtual world. And my second business, which was actually a broadband business acquired by this company called Redtone.
Redtone. Wow. And you did all this before you were 30, right?
Yes, I did it all before I was 30. I graduated at 20 and by 22, I actually started my first business.
Yeah, like a startup genius, man.
I guess it was a little bit of rebelliousness, a little bit of trying to prove yourself, and being a programmer. The only skill set that I have was programming, and it was actually virtually one of the first business that you can actually start up that doesn't require any cost. So that's what sparked me to actually start up my entrepreneur journey, and I didn't think too much about it, but it's been actually a very long and short at the same time 15 years journey up until today.
Years.
Yes.
So from okay, you're 34, 35.
I'm 37.
37.
Yeah.
Okay. Single available?
No, married. But I know a lot of people who are single and available in our company. Yeah, so you drop us a line if you want to meet some really cool, happening guys or even
you know what?
pretty girls.
we should do a startup matchmaking agency, man.
Yeah, finding a co-founder is quite similar to actually dating or actually finding a right partner as well. Both are partners, but just different types.
One's a partner in business, one's a partner in life. Yeah. Don't confuse them both.
Partner in crime. Some people say.
You don't want to be in bars together, man. Yeah. All right. Could you tell us more about Offpeak and what it does?
Yeah. Well, Offpeak, if you have not heard about it, it's actually a food discovery platform. It actually gives you, we have currently about 1,300 restaurants listed on our platform.
1,300,
yeah,
that's a lot.
1,300. Yeah, you'll actually be surprised what you actually find in our app, and probably even restaurants that you might or might not know around your vicinity, because we actually list all the restaurants closest to you. So do give it a try, do download it, and probably you might find some hidden gems of restaurants and cafes or even food places that you probably already going to, but you might as well go in and have and enjoy some discounts along with it.
Okay, could you give a few examples that I might like? Like I like rice and spicy stuff.
Well, there's a lot of, it breaks down by cuisine type, category type.
Okay.
There's cafes, there's Western food, there's Indian, there's Japanese. We are Malaysians. We eat everything.
We eat everything, man.
Yeah, so whatever tickles your fancy,
Okay.
do check us out. Do download the thing if it sparks your curiosity to find, to know what's restaurants is around you. Check it out.
Okay. So you started in 2014.
Yeah.
Could you tell us your expansion since then, your startup journey, how has it been?
Okay, Offpeak started in 13 February 2014.
13 February 2014.
Yeah, so we've been around for about 3+ years.
Okay.
It has been it's been a wonderful journey so far. Of course, being a startup, the startup has also pivoted, and we have also refined it over a period of time. And I think the journey of Offpeak is something that really teaches me and embraces my team in what is it like to actually properly run a startup.
So right now the keyword many people are talking about is pivoting.
Yeah.
Could you explain how you change direction in between?
I won't consider, I think we are one of those few lucky ones that didn't really pivot. I call it a refining of our business model.
Refining, okay.
Yeah, as our name implies, in the beginning it's called Offpeak, right? So it was supposed to be a dining experience from 3 to 6 p.m. at a very high discount. But over a period of time, we realized that we can do more than that.
Yes.
So Offpeak is now actually at Offpeak tables, which is your extra available tables that all restaurants have throughout the entire day. So if it's lunch or dinner, be it supper, be it breakfast, if you have an empty
unsold
table
tables
or unsold table, list it on Offpeak, and we will then offer that to our users so that they are able to then enjoy their dining experience at a relatively good price.
Actually, I can already think of few other businesses that don't really get customers from that 3 to 6 p.m.
So we have moved, I wouldn't say it's a pivot, but it's a refining of our business model and the refining of our timing, so that it's now available throughout all day, all times. So anytime you're hungry, anytime you want to look for food,
you can use your platform.
Think of Offpeak.
Alright. So how's the growth been? How many people are currently actively using your platform?
We have grown to about 4 countries right now. We've got close to about 150,000 to 200,000 users just in Malaysia alone. Everybody loves to eat. Everybody eats 3 times a day.
At least 3 times a day.
At least 3 times a day. It's mandatory. It's a requirement. No escaping from
Get your nutrition right.
But because it's Bulan Puasa, so maybe just 2 times a day. Just 2 times a day.
It's 2 times for them. Okay, probably they can still refill during the night, sir. Okay, I also got to know that you went through a few rounds of funding. Could you explain about that?
Okay, I think most of this funding information, I don't want to bore you all too much with it, but I think it's most of it is on the tech websites.
Okay.
So we have gotten our first round from Gobi partners, and subsequently we got a very good support from Cradle. CIP 500 grant, and then just last year July we actually got investment from Yahoo Japan Capital.
Yahoo Japan, that's like a big name,
Yahoo
right?
Japan Capital.
And you're like the first investment in Southeast Asia for Yahoo Japan Capital.
Yeah, surprisingly, we are actually the first for Gobi partners. The first for Yahoo Japan Capital as well.
That's interesting. So, you must have made such an impression on them that they actually decided.
We hope so.
Okay. Now the time that all of our viewers are waiting for, we're going to jump into our topic. How to find your co-founders. So, Mr. Barney, could you just share how many co-founders you have had so far?
I think I have gone in relationship with maybe about 10 co-founders so far in all the various businesses that I've done.
So this includes your technical guys, your marketing guys, everything.
It ranges from a very wide range of people. And let me just share with you something.
Sure.
I'm just going to draw it on a piece of paper.
He's going to draw something.
Just a phase of where you actually transition to actually find your co-founder.
Okay.
So it's just a very simple process. I'm just going to.
It's okay, guys. I'll carry it up later.
I'll carry it up later. So we first start off with these 2 alphabets here, which is RE. RE is basically a place where you start finding your co-founder, which is your relatives, your relationships, your friends, your families, your cousins. These are the first people that you always go to, to be able to find what you're looking for, And from there, what you do is you move on to the next letter, which is F. F is basically friends. Friends of your cousins, friends of your families, friends of your friends. These are the people that you next go and ask.
In Facebook, it says mutual friends.
Yeah, mutual friends. So, so these are the second stage of where you will actually find the people that you want to have co-founders with. So that's F. And then the next is actually E. E actually signifies events. So you actually go to events, you actually go to places like even a platform like this, like VspireLab.
VspireLab, hear that?
Yeah, VspireLabs, where people are sharing the same topic because you are finding the same thing. So you might actually find each other as well. You might go to magic events, you might go to cradle events.
Magic events,
you can go to maybe even pubs, you can go to, can I say that?
Yes, good.
You can go to parties, you can go to
we on
parties.
We on Facebook, you don't need to censor anything.
Okay, there's no turning back anyway. So
okay, yes, it's all live.
Yeah, it's all live, okay. Yeah, so you can go to events, you can go to your friend's birthday party, you can go to karaoke with your friends and
I go there to eat only lah.
Yeah, of course, I go there to sing as well. That's it, So you might actually find your co-founders in this kind of events and this kind of space, presentation, talks, people who share the same common interests.
Like-minded
people. And surprisingly, the last factor, which is actually R, this is what we call external factor. Unfortunately, in the co-founder world, there isn't such an app at this moment that allows you to actually swipe left to find the right co-founder, swipe right if you don't like them at all.
You can call it founder, not Tinder.
Yeah, founder apps.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you actually look at this, and if you reverse this flow from I don't know, left to right or right to left,
it's about the same.
If you actually reverse it and you think of it in terms of dating, it's actually quite similar. R actually is your external factor. This is where people first start to find dates. Places like Tinder, places like Paktor, online platforms. And then if they run out of that, or WeChat or Line, I don't know. I'm not up to date, unfortunately. But I'm sure a lot of you are more experienced in that. And then from your external factors, you go down to E, which is events. So you go again to birthday parties, to friends parties, you go to clubs, you go to events to be able to find, and there's also communities and also professional platforms that allows you to find your match. And then from there you go to your friends, you actually check them out on Facebook, and they say, hey, is that friend coming? Can you bring a friend? Or friends of cousins, or friends of family.
I'm going to have an event tonight, and I'm going to bring this cute girl. Yeah. Do you want to come over?
Yeah, I check out your Facebook friend and who I link to, and just drop a hint and say, hey, can you bring a friend along? So that's in terms of dating. And then eventually, finally, this is the last part you don't want to get into, which is your relatives and your relationships and your friends and your family. So that is the part that you don't want to get into, but they will get into for you.
Your relatives are the ones who your parents will try to matchmake you.
Yes.
Try not to get there.
Try to not to get there, but if the last effort, that's probably where you go to. So if you actually look at this closely, it actually says REFER, which is refer. From left to right and right to left, it spells the same thing. So what this all actually means is that if you're actually finding a co-founder, or if you're actually finding a date, it's actually very similar in nature. It's all through a referral system, where you have to refer yourself and people have to refer you throughout external sources, throughout events, throughout friends, throughout family. So that's how you're going to find your co-founders. You have to put in the work, you have to put in the effort, you have to put
like
the time.
Self-advertising.
It is self-advertising, you can, the resemblance is very uncanny, You go to an event, what are you going to go to the event for? You're telling, just say for example, if you're going to a magic event, you are actually putting on your head, I'm finding a co-founder. If the event was about a co-founder. But if you are actually going for an event for a dating platform, you're actually putting on his head and says, I'm single. Please find me.
Now they have like the investor and startup quick date or something. It's similar to that, right?
Actually it is. It is quite similar to that.
You jump left, and like make a good impression on them.
So the phases of how you find a co-founder is very similar to actually dating. Most of you have probably done it. Just that subconsciously you probably didn't refer.
I did it only once.
Okay.
Alright. Okay. So I've got a few questions, right? Like you're talking about all this. There's, let's say you got 4 here, and none here. How do you choose the best? Like this one, my mom chose me and chose for me, and then it's my mutual friend, and like.
Okay.
So how do you choose the best from the?
Okay. So based on my experience of relationship, business, of course, as I mentioned, I've been in about 10 of them, and I've actually touched in all these categories before. I've got business co-founders who are my cousins. My brother is still with me along this journey, even in Offpeak. I've got friends, very good friends. I've got even friends of friends, and there are also some that I actually met in the events.
Okay.
I cannot disclose which events, but across all, I've actually found them before. So I think the most important question is what makes the right co-founder? How do you find whether the co-founder is right for you or not?
People used to tell me like, don't hire your friends or family. Why do you think they say that?
I don't think that's actually wrong. I think maybe there's actually one thing out of my entire experience that pinpoint the real reason why a lot of people think that this is wrong or this is right or this you shouldn't do this or shouldn't do that. But actually in the realm of finding a co-founder or even a life partner, there's actually no right and there's actually no wrong.
There's no right.
There's no right, there's no wrong.
You just make do with what you have.
You make do with what you have. I mean, once you get into a relationship, there's like I said, no right and there's no wrong. So can you say that your good friends, you shouldn't get into a relationship with your good friends, or maybe your cousins shouldn't be your co-founder, or your brother shouldn't be one? No, there's actually no right or there's no wrong. But there is my own preference of a general rule of thumb, I would say.
Okay.
Just a preference. So my preference would be do not get in into a relationship with somebody that is too close to you.
Too close meaning like?
Too close, like your cousins or your best friends from high school or primary school friends.
Rather not do it.
Rather not do it. You know,
Okay.
no, doesn't mean it's wrong. Doesn't mean you're going to have a bad relationship after that. You know, but just a preference.
Okay.
You know, the second is probably. If you heard of love at first sight, that happens in finding a co-founder as well.
Gal get out.
That smile, you know, that twinkle in the eye,
Yes.
you know, that business idea or business proposal that attracts you. You know, you can actually get into a relationship with your co-founder just with something as simple as that. You know,
I wanted to ask you about this, like love at first sight. Like, imagine a guy who's just like a freshie and he doesn't have much knowledge at all, no business knowledge, nothing. But he brings in a fresh point of view to your society, to your company. Would you hire him as a co-founder or as like a normal hire first?
Well, like I say, there's no right or wrong in hiring a co-founder. You know, everybody would have dated for the
So
first
you would
time.
give him the chance?
I would give him a chance as well, and I think that the third most important aspect of another rule of thumb is actually opposite attracts.
Okay.
You know, that means find co-founders which have different expertise at you.
Okay.
You know? So if you're an IT person, maybe try to find somebody who's more sales related. If somebody's marketing, maybe you get somebody who's operational.
Like someone who complements your yin and yang.
Yeah,
that
somebody
kind of thing.
complements your opposite attracts. You know? But doesn't mean that if you have two tech guys in the company, it's not going to work. You know, all of this work or doesn't work, right or wrong, actually eventually boils down to only one key factor.
And
you know,
what is that?
If I can take all my past relationship and I combine it together and I write a kesimpulan, you know, a summary of what causes a relationship to
listen to
eventually
this.
right or wrong. Yeah, listen to this. It's very important. And it's only one word that you need to know. It's actually the word called maturity. If you have enough maturity within yourself, and of course your partner must also have it, you can make any relationship right. You can make any wrong right, and sometimes even the wrong would be right as well. Over time,
yes.
Business might fail. You might fail it with your best friend, you might fail it with your cousins, you might fail it with people that you truly respect or truly have a relationship with on a personal level. But if you do not have maturity, whatever happens to the business, you will always have a bitter ending at the end of the day. But if you have the maturity, and the maturity is very simple, the ability to split your personal emotion with your business emotion when doing business with a co-founder.
But it's kind of hard, right?
Yeah, but in dating, it's the same. How are you going to split your personal emotion with your business emotion and not let both of it come together to cloud your decision? That is maturity. So be it businesses fail or be it businesses succeed. I've got my share of businesses succeed or fail. Success, of course, is easier to keep a friendship.
Right, of course.
But often or not, we have to face reality.
There will be failures.
Yeah, there will be failures. You know, business might fail. You know, so if there's a business that fails, or even it fails with somebody you're closely attached to, your best friends or your cousin, can you actually go out of it? You know, because if you are unable to find co-founders and you don't know whether your co-founders are right or wrong for you, the most important aspect at the end of the day is whether the whole relationship ends well, no matter what happens throughout that journey or not.
And one more thing I strongly believe in is that people change over time.
Yeah, people
do. The person who was like that, who wronged you maybe 5 years ago, is not the same person anymore.
You come from experience.
Definitely. And I need to go and talk back with a few of my friends. I haven't been talking with them enough. So I need to go and
so that's what we've realized, and that is the key important factor. At the end of the day, whether or not, you know, right or wrong co-founder, good or not, opposite attracts or not, you know, right idea, same idea, changes within the relationship, all of it doesn't matter actually. At the end of the day is whether we can end it in a very compromised, and very good manner, so that eventually, you know, this relationship, unlike maybe a dating relationship, you might actually go in bed with them again in the future. So you do not want to ruin anything of your past. Hence, maturity is the most important aspect of everything that you will ever have to do with your co-founders.
So let's say you have a successful team, right? Like 5 of them. So you'll definitely probably think about your next venture because everything just falls perfectly. and you go into the next venture, right? And then they're like, now they split their work and responsibilities into two sides. What do you do then?
When I go into the next venture,
with the same people, and then they have more responsibilities and they can't cope with it.
So imbalance of responsibilities. So that goes to probably the fourth rule of thumb, which is talk about it.
Talk about it.
In every relationship, the one key reason to be able to overcome hiccups or bumps along the way is actually to truly talk about it. In the business world, it's the same. Talk about it. Again, not putting emotion and business together. And in relationship, also similarly, do not put business and personal together, and just talk about the problems in hand and figure a way to solve the best.
Will you suggest, like, for in dating, they'll have date nights where they talk about their relationship and how to take it the next step? So for in a business point of view, would you suggest, like, once a week you meet up, probably have lunch or dinner and talk about your problems?
Well, if it's your co-founder, you better be meeting up with him almost every day.
Every day, yes.
But not necessarily, like I said again, it all depends on the comfortability level between you and the co-founder. If you both have your own mutual respect
I just
for
trust
each
him
other,
to do his work.
I trust you to do your work. You trust me to do my work. You know, I do what I know because I know it best, and I hire you because you know, I'm working with you because you can do what you do best. You know, we sometimes don't even need to talk to each other until there's a critical stage and we need to make a critical decision. Then we will sit down and then we will chart out what we want. But eventually, you have to always understand that your co-founder or even your partner always wants the best in a relationship.
True. Everyone wants the best.
It's just our own thinking, it's our own mindset that always pulls us down. It's always the devil in us that telling
he's
us
stealing money from the company.
He wants something else, you know. He actually wants power, but actually at the end of the day, it's not what they want.
No,
you know,
not at all.
It's like your family member asking you, no, you must eat vegetables.
It's good for you,
it's
actually.
Good for you, actually. You know, indirectly, they are trying to help you to achieve something.
But it's from their point of view, not your point of view.
Yeah. So that is why the difference of thinking, and if you feel that this is what you all are trying to achieve at the end of the day, talk about it. You know, there's no other way. There's no escaping from it. You know,
communication is key.
If you shield yourself away from talking about it, or you run away from your problems, you're never going to be able to address it.
Sure.
You know,
and in the long run, it will hurt your company.
Yeah, it will hurt your company. Yeah. So talk about it, resolve it. It's always for the better. I always believe there's a win-win situation out of it. And at the end of the day, it boils down to the single word of maturity. Whatever you want to do to be able to handle that situation.
Okay. These days, when people start their companies, the first thing they do is like break up the responsibilities and also specify them in like a contract. Like
yes,
and how much do you own and how much do I own and all that. How important is that for a startup?
Oh, that is very important. I've actually dropped some startup that I wanted to invest in because they were not wanting to commit in certain things that's written on or verbally in the agreement. It doesn't have to be very exclusive. It doesn't have to be prepared by a lawyer. You know, it's just a sense of responsibilities. Of course, talk about salary, talk about pay. You know, talk about responsibilities, and talk also about what happens if certain things don't happen.
Yes.
You know, like for example, if you stop running the company, or if you decide that you don't want to run the company, you have to automatically give up your shares. For example,
yes.
You know, so there are certain things. I'm sure Google has plenty of examples that you can search based on this. But yes, that is actually the first key point when starting a business, is to be able to pin and write everything down so that everybody has the common understanding of what's important.
Based on that, you can guide your conversation with your partners later on. This is your job. I don't see you performing as well. Could you buckle up and hit your sales target or something?
Or if I hit it, this is the additional shares I'm supposed to
I was already promised all this.
Yes. I'm sure along your lines of VspireLab's people that are coming to talk, I'm sure one of them would also be able to share some of this information with you. You know?
Okay. Have you had to like fire one of your co-founders? Like,
well, there was a co-founder that was my best friend in high school. And yes, I actually had to, not really fire, but we actually asked him to leave the company. But things turned a little bit sour because when the moment I asked him to leave, the next month I was offered acquisition by a company called Redtone. So when you put the events side by side to each other, it seems as though I fired him to take advantage of the acquisition, but it never took place that way.
Now in your friend circle, you look like the bad guy.
Yeah, I'm actually unfriended. I'm unfriended, by that circle.
Man,
But
sucks,
that was purely coincidence. The time when we asked them to leave, it was purely a decision to ask him to leave. And a couple months later, the investor approached us, and even the investors, I can tell you, I met him in a golf driving range, all the places.
So that's like an event?
That's an event. Yeah,
Okay.
that's an event that you are actually talking about. It's a golf driving range. I met him, and we clicked, and the next minute we were invited in the office, and he decided to acquire us. But somehow the sequence of events created an illusion
that you had to fire your
I
friend.
had to fire my best friend. I was hungry for power, and because I had this deal on the line,
man.
I did it because I was hungry for that. But it wasn't that at all. So for the record, if anybody's listening to it, the sequence of event was an illusion.
Did anyone try to explain to him?
Well, it's been about 13, 14 years, we still bump into each other. I think time will heal a lot of things as well,
yes.
so over a period.
But you should take the initiative.
Yeah, I do. We but sometimes, like I say, at the end of the day, it also boils down to word maturity, because at that point of time, I can sincerely pin down that the biggest problem was because I was immature. And maybe he was also not ready to be matured yet.
It was
and
quite many years
and the
ago.
breakup happened because of both our immaturity. And we did it because of whatever reason it was. But if we were to think back, it was just because of that.
Immaturity.
If we were more matured in the decision that we are taking, we sit down and we talk about it, we might be able to come out, and we might still be able to establish our friend circle all over again.
In a case like that, a previous co-founder comes back to you with a new proposal, with a brand new idea.
Yeah.
How will that go?
Actually, surprisingly, Offpeak is one of the Offpeak has a co-founder in Vietnam. He actually is the guy that I used to do business with. We met in an event as well. We met in an event as well. He was a friend's friend. He was a friend's
so
friend.
it's like two.
Yeah, it's like two in one. A friend's friend.
Uh-huh.
But at that point of time, like I said, we were matured enough that when the company did not succeed in Vietnam, we started the IT distribution company in Vietnam about 10 years ago. That didn't succeed. We still remain friends. And when Offpeak needed to expand to Vietnam,
you approached your
first
friend.
person that I actually went up to was my friend. So it doesn't matter whether he was my friend, whether he was right, he was wrong, but because we had the maturity level strong enough to be able to distinguish working and emotional, we can still actually go on the relationship again. And Offpeak is now run by him in Vietnam.
In Vietnam, so he's like the country director or something like that.
He is the co-founder as well as a CEO of Vietnam.
That's quite a lot of information Mr. Banyo shared with us today. So what would be one thing that you would give away to our viewers? Like if all else fails, just follow this one tip, you'll be fine. What is it?
Yeah, I think I've been stressing it over and over again. The one really big tip is actually maturity. It boils down to your individual self. It boils down to your individual thinking. It boils down to your own level of maturity in order to be able to overcome any problem that happens in a relationship or in your business world. Cool?
Cool. One more thing.
Yeah.
Nowadays it's all small kids running around startups.
Yeah.
They're not mature yet.
Yeah.
Should they get guidance or counseling from someone when making major decisions?
They should. I think nowadays it's quite easy to actually get mentors. There's a lot of mentors who are willing to facilitate experience and help and do actually seek them out. Go to events again, go to your friends of friends again, and ask if there's any mentor that you can actually tie into, because that mentor should actually relate very much to your style, so that you can relate very much to him as well.
Is approachable, easy to communicate with.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, do you have any questions from our viewers today? No. All right. Okay. Viewers, we have our second question for this VspireLab series, and the question is, What is the exact date that Offpeak was established? I repeat, what is the exact date that Offpeak was established? We'll be posting the questions again soon. You can write it up there, comment there. We'll have a total of 8 questions, and at the end of the series, we'll choose the guy or girl with the most right answers. Okay, stay tuned with us for next week. We have Miss Nurul from Laundry on the Go. They're a laundry middleman between laundry stores and users.
Laundry on demand.
Laundry on demand, yes. And they're going to be talking about disrupt or be disrupted. So stay tuned to learn more from them. Thank you. Have a good weekend. Bye.
Bye. See ya.